Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. Uh, we are in 125th session of the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle, and we have covered 11 chapters, and in 11th chapter, we have covered about 39 verses, and we have to continue from 40th verse today. So there are some very beautiful things that we have discussed in the previous sessions. But before we begin, let's chant the pranam mantras as we always do. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON and my beloved spiritual master. Kindly join your palms and chant along with me. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapreshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, welcome all of you. Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, thank you so much for joining on YouTube. So, in the previous verse, in the previous session, we had discussed some very important things about the universal form. And Krishna, when he said that, "Oh Arjuna, my mission on this planet is to actually finish off all the adharmic people." Because Arjuna had asked the questions, right? That who are you and what's your mission? And Krishna said that I am Kalaha, I am time. I am time personified, and I finish off everything. You know, as time, I destroy everything. And he also showed that how all these adharmic people were all killed. They were all getting crushed between his teeth and in the universal form. And he said, "This is my mission. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge." So this is my mission. So that was reinforcement for Arjuna, and whatever he had said before, he practically demonstrated. Krishna demonstrated that how I establish dharma in that universal form. So that was very um, straight instruction to him. And then Arjuna, after looking at this, he said, "Oh my God, this is so wonderful, and I'm so fearful looking at this." He started doing namaskara to Arjuna, to Krishna. And then Arjuna is saying, "Oh, you are Mahatma, you are Adideva, you are Akshara. You know, you that way, you are Purana Purusha. You are the oldest of the oldest. You know, you are the first being. You are who was being worshipped by Brahma." So we discussed many details about all these things, and just imagine, it is so wonderful also that how that Arjuna is referring, he's saying, he's calling Krishna as you are Prapitamaha. Also, in one of the words, he's saying that you can imagine a great grandfather, but yet a great grandfather. Have you seen a great grandfather entering into his youth? No, it is Krishna. He is actually Purana Purusha. He is Prapitamaha. Prapitamaha means he is the great, great, great grandfather. But this great, great, great grandfather is not an old looking, you know, with white beard and white hair. No, Krishna is not like that. Krishna is just entering his youth always. Nava Yauvanam cha. Krishna's body is always Nava Yauvanam. He never becomes old. never becomes old. He has a transcendental body, very, very wonderful spiritual body he has. So, Purana Purusha. So, this all these things are described by Arjuna, and is further glorifying. We had covered until 39. Let us start from verse number 40. So, Hina Mataji, you can unmute yourself and let's chant the 40th verse for today. And the 40th verse will be displayed on the screen. Yeah. Nama purastadata prishtataste
नमः पुरस्ताद अथ पृष्ठतस्ते
namostute sarvata eva sarva
नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वता एव सर्वा
अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्त्वम्
अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्तम्
सर्वं समाप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वः.
सर्वं समाप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वः.
Again, Nama Purastadata Prishtataste
नमः पुरुषाद अथ पृष्ठतस्ते
Namostute Te Sarvata Eva Sarva
नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वता एव सर्वा
Anantaviryamitavicramastam
अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्तम्
Sarvam Samapnoshi Tatosi Sarva.
सर्वं समाप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वा.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
Obeisance to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Hare Krishna.
Correct. So nice. So here, now Arjuna looking at this universal form which is all surrounding him. Universal form is not just in one place, not just in front or the back. It is he's having a 360-degree view of this universal form. So he's saying your unbounded power. There is no question of limited power. We all have limited power, and when we generate power, also it is very limited. That's why in India, at least, you'll see so many power cuts. We have very limited power. Our capacity to generate power is also very limited. Although these, people are talking about we have now got a good resource of lithium ion. We have found it in Kashmir. We have found it in some other places in the US. Many places they have found some resources. But although we may have all these materials of power generation, we cannot match the power of the Supreme Lord. What to speak of our generation? The power of the sun itself. The power of the sun is so much, so huge that the power emitted by sun for a second, and if we can capture that and store it, we can light up the whole earth for thousands of years. That is the amount of radiation power that is generated by sun. You can imagine if you capture that energy of the sun for just 1 second, if you can store it. We are not able to store it, but if we can store it, then we can light up the whole planet for thousands of years. That is the power of the sun. And what is this sun? The sun is nothing but an eye of Krishna. Just an eye of Krishna. Can you imagine? It is so powerful, but that also, a great sun also derives the power from Krishna. That is how powerful Krishna is. I just gave this a comparison so that we understand. We are sending one small satellite or, a probe, L1, Aditya. Okay, you go to the sun and understand it. It cannot go all the way very close to the sun, isn't it? It has its own limitation. To study the sun, we are doing so much of, a lot of things. The scientific world is so excited about it. To understand the radiation of the sun, to study the nature of the sun, we are trying to probe into the sun's region, but then it is so limited. Now you can imagine how powerful Krishna might be. He is extremely powerful, very, very powerful. So that is how Arjuna is saying that you are all around, my Lord. You are situated 360 degrees around me, and you are the master of the limitless might. Very, very powerful. And you're all pervading, just like a sun, situated in one place. A sun is situated in one place, but then it is spread all across. The energy of the sun is spread all across. So similarly, Krishna, although situated in Golok Vrindavana, his power is situated all across the universes. And we should know that there is no match. We, at any given point, cannot match the energy of the Lord. We cannot become God. There is no question of becoming God. We are not God, but we are gods with an apostrophe S. We are not God, but we are gods. Means we are an amsha of the Lord. So many people, they give that promise to people. They say, many gurus, so-called gurus, they say, "Oh, I'll make you God." You know, what kind of God they can make? They cannot make God. We cannot become God. How can we become God when we don't even have control over the nature's call? You know, we don't have the power to control our own basic forces, urges in the body. We don't have a control over the syringes that are going to come when we reach old age. We don't have control over the death that we're going to face. How can we become God? So these are all false promises that so-called gurus they make. So it is just not possible. It is just not possible to become God. We cannot become God. So when we understand the greatness of God, that is when we understand that yes, I can serve this great person. Why we have to hear more and more? The reason, because when we hear more and more, we understand the greatness of Krishna. Because when we hear the greatness of Krishna, it becomes easy to serve. Because why we want to serve? We don't serve anybody, right? We serve because there are egos. We have a lot of egos that, oh, I am so powerful. Why should I serve somebody else? But when you know that there is a powerful person, then you know that, oh, I have no other option than serving this person. So by hearing, we know that there's a great person like Krishna, and yes, he is the right candidate, he's the right person whom we can serve. Krishna, we are Bindu, small Bindu. Krishna is uh, not Bindu, but he's Sindhu. Mahasindhu, not just Sindhu, but he's a Mahasindhu. Sindhu means the ocean. We are small Bindu. We are just like a small spark. But Krishna is not spark. He is like a devouring fire, very big fire. So we are just Amsha. We are very just small. We are Anu, but Krishna is Vibhu. So in no way we can actually become like Krishna. There is no possibility that we'll become Krishna. But what happens is when we understand Krishna philosophically, not sentimentally, philosophically, when we understand, that is when the Tattva Gnana reveals within our heart. And when that gets revealed within our heart, then what happens is that ignorance means darkness, that darkness is dissipated, that light comes in within our heart, and that is when you start seeing things, your perceptions become very clear about the world, about yourself. So that divya jnana, that tattva jnana, when it comes into your heart, it reveals in your heart, you see things very clearly. You are not illusioned anymore. And that is required. Why this philosophical discussion we are having? Why Bhagavad Gita study circle? Why we are studying Bhagavad Gita and not reading Bhagavad Gita? This is one reason, because to the extent that we can, whatever capacity I have and the capacity to speak and capacity that you can hear, we are trying to discuss and study Bhagavad Gita because we want to ignite that Divya Jnana within our heart. Because when that happens, then ignorance goes away. We see things very clear. Our decision making becomes very clear, because dharma is established. When dharma is there with you, your decision making capability is very clear. When there is adharma, then we are all cluttered. That is what happening with Arjuna also, right? Because he was not very clear what is adharma and what is dharma. So when he was confused about dharma and adharma, that darkness was there, illusion was there. And that happens with us. But when he hears now and gets this knowledge, then the dharma is established in his heart very clearly, very strongly. And then he knows now, okay, I have to fight for the pleasure of Krishna. And he does that, right? So similarly, when we understand that Krishna is the supreme and we glorify him, then automatically dharma is established in our heart. Then that ignorance is gone, that darkness is gone. Krishna Surya Sama Maya hai andhakar, Jaha Krishna Taha nahi Maya radhikar. Krishna is Surya Sama. He is like the sun. Krishna Surya Sama. Maya hai andhakar. Maya is like darkness. But Jaha Krishna, taha nahi Maya radhikar. Wherever there is sun, there cannot be darkness. Is there any possibility of darkness in the presence of sun? Moment the sun rises, the darkness goes away. So similarly, when the Krishna rises in our heart, darkness, Maya will go away. There is no question of Maya. There is no place for Maya within our heart when we establish Krishna within our heart. And yesterday also, I was just thinking about this and contemplating that how, oh, if at all Krishna has to be in my heart, and one devotee sent a very beautiful quote saying that how, I'll share with some of you and I'll share with all of you also, that how that I have always been thinking that Krishna is there in the heart as Paramatma. But I never thought that Radharani can also be in the heart. And there's very nice quote given, written by Prabodhananda Saraswati Goswami, that she is requesting, oh Radharani, you are the ocean of bliss, you are the ocean of knowledge, you are the ocean of beauty. You reside in my heart. So I was just thinking that Krishna can reside in the heart as Paramatma. But Krishna, I was thinking the easiest way for Krishna to reveal in his within our own heart is to actually also have Radharani within our heart. Because if Radharani is there and she resides in our heart, there is no way that Krishna can escape. Krishna has to be in the heart. So I was just thinking, I was praying to Radharani yesterday that after reading that quote, I was praying, my mother, you please, you are the divine mother, you please reside in my heart. Because if you reside in my heart, then Krishna will reside in my heart. That is the prayer that I did yesterday. The whole day I was just thinking about this. And it gave me so much bliss actually thinking just about the Radharani also can be in the heart. Because if the mother is not, then our Supreme Father Krishna will automatically reside. We don't have to struggle. Otherwise, capturing Krishna within the heart, understanding and seeing Krishna in the heart is so difficult. That's why the yogis are finding it so difficult. They do Ashtanga Yoga thousands of years and they still just see the lotus feet of Krishna. They don't even see the whole form of the Lord. But here, if we have Radharani, then yes, it is a great boon to us, a shortcut actually to reach to Krishna. So we should pray to Radharani so that she resides within our heart, and she can reside within our heart. And she is more pleased when we actually serve our spiritual master. When we serve Prabhupada very nicely, Radharani is pleased, and when Radharani is pleased, then automatically Krishna is pleased. The point here is actually you have Krishna if you have Prabhupada in your heart. Radharani will reside in the heart. And if Radharani resides in the heart, Krishna will reside in the heart automatically. So that is how it is. Very simple. Otherwise, just if you want to capture Krishna, I want Krishna, Krishna will run away. It's just not possible. Very difficult to capture Krishna, right? So this is the thing about this verse where Krishna's might is being glorified by Arjuna. And next verse is one of my favorites actually, and it is very special. Uh, So, Vinodji, you can unmute yourself and let's chant. Actually, 41 and 42 is together. So, let's chant together the both verses. 41st verse. So, Arjuna is saying, Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam
सखेति मत्वा प्रसदम्बं यद् उक्तम्
He Krishna He Yadava He Saketi
हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सकेति
Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam
अजानता महिमानं तवेदम्
Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi
मया प्रमादात् प्रणेयवापि
Once again, Sakheti Matva Prasabam Yaduktam
सखेति मत्वा प्रसदम्बं यद् उक्तम्
He Krishna He Yadava He Saketi
हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सकेति
Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam
अजानता महिमानं तवेदम्
Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi.
मया प्रमादात् प्रणयेन वापि
Wonderful. Vani Mataji, you can unmute yourself and let's also chant the 42nd verse.
Okay.
यच्छावहासारतमसत्कृतोऽसि
यच्चावहासार्थमसत्कृतोऽसि
विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु
विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु
एकोऽतच्वापि अच्युत तत्समक्षम्
एकोऽथवाप्याच्युत तत्समक्षम्
तक्षामहे त्वामहम् अप्रमेयम्.
तत्क्षामये त्वामहमप्रमेयम्
Once again, यच्छावहासार्तमसत्कृतोऽसि
यच्चावहासार्थमत्सत्क्रतोऽसि
विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु
विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु
एकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षम्
एकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षम्
रक्ष्यामहे त्वामहमप्रमेयम्.
तत्क्षामये त्वामहमप्रमेयम्
Wonderful. Vinodji, please unmute and you can read the translation.
Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all these offenses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so these are some very, very personal touch Arjuna is giving in the Bhagavad Gita now. So he is actually seeing the universal form, and although he's seeing the universal form, he is remembering his friendship with Krishna, and he now knows that it is not so simple as I thought. It's not that he is just my friend. He is a supreme Brahman. He's Parabrahman, and such a great personality. He is my friend. So he is kind of a feeling little guilty also, and he's saying that, oh Krishna, I have rashly addressed you. See, I have rashly addressed you as Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Madhava. He is remembering all those days when both of them used to go as friends in to excursions. We as friends with friends, we keep going to this place and that place, and they used to go around many times. So Arjuna is remembering all those days, and he is remembering that how he addressed the Supreme Brahman as Hey Krishna, Hey Yadav. Very casually we sometimes remember our friends and we address them, and he's thinking, please forgive me, because out of madness and out of love, whatever it is, I have done something, a grave mistake. I've committed a grave mistake, and I've dishonored you many times. Dishonored you many times. Why? Because I was eating food with you and I was calling you all these names, not just when we were together, but also before so many people. There were so many people, and I was calling you, oh Krishna, oh Yadava, just like a friend. So, and not just that, we had bhojana together, but at the same time, we were also, I was lying down on the same shaya. I was on the same bed. We sat together. I took rest with you on the same bed. All these is remembering, and he's just feeling, very guilty within that, my great friend, I thought that he's my friend, but he's a supreme Brahman. And he's saying that, you know, um, oh infallible one, please excuse me for all the offenses that I've committed. All the offenses. And this happens with us, familiarity breeds contempt. We become familiar to people, and moment we become familiar, we start offending people directly, indirectly. When there is a new relationship, there is a little distance maintained, there is a lot of respect and awe and reverence. But when there is a closeness and you start becoming familiar with the environment, when you become familiar with people, then you tend to offend. It may not be tend to offend it. If you, even if you don't offend, you may actually uh, not um, give the same respect as you were giving earlier. And in friendship, actually, there is no question of that kind of respect. There is no such respect required in friendship. But if it is a very formal relationship, then you need to have that respect. If it is a guru and shishya, then you need to have that respect. When you become familiar with guru, then there is a chance that we become disrespectful and offend sometimes. But in friendship, it is a different thing. In friends, when you are as a friend, you really don't uh, some really mind if your friend is sometimes pulling your legs and he's saying and calling out some names to you. That is fine in friendship. And Krishna here is a friend of Arjuna, and he, with that, in the mood of friendship, Arjuna had actually called. But still, he is feeling that way because now he's seeing the supreme might of Krishna. So he understands that he's just not my friend, he's something beyond. And when you know greatness of a person, you may actually tend to get these kind of feelings. It happens. In my own experience, I'll tell you that some of my friends, my college friends, they used to call me with all sorts of names, you know, you know, in a funny way, sometimes jokingly. All that used to happen, and it happens with most of us, and it happens with many other devotees also. But now, when they meet me, like, oh, Prabhuji, they they are so respectful, and all that awe and reverence they show a little bit. Some of them at least. That happens. Now, I'm just saying, if this can happen with us when somebody sees that greatness, not greatness, but at least when they see that you are in a spiritual path, they tend to respect you and more than what they respected you, or they didn't respect actually. As friends, no question of respect, pulling each other's legs and all that used to happen, and that happens with all of us, right? So that happened with Arjuna also. But when now he knows that, oh my God, this is Krishna, he's supreme Parabrahma, that awe and reverence is coming out now. So that is what is happening with them. And he's saying that he's infallible one. He's Achyuta. He's great warrior. Actually, there's no warrior like anyone like Krishna on that battlefield. Actually, that is a fact. There is no warrior on the battlefield like Krishna. There might be a Bhishma, there might be Arjuna, there might be Bhima, but there is none like Krishna. Krishna is the greatest of the warriors. And Arjuna realizes that. And he realizes that. So, when Damodara Arti comes, when the Damodara month comes, Kartik month comes, we sing this song. We try to mix and match this song. We say that how Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, He Krishna, He Yadava, He Saketi, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So it's a very beautiful song, and it's a wonderful bhajan that with mix and match we do. Although it's not authorized anywhere, but it just is very melodious to sing. So that's a very nice way. We remember this. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Saketi, Govinda Damodara, Madhaveti. We remember these words of Arjuna in that bhajan. Very beautiful song, right? So we also want to get that kind of mood of Arjuna, that friend, Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Saketi. So Krishna is a great warrior and he protects his devotees, and especially devotees like Arjuna in every situation. Now, while I'm talking about this, I remembered one very beautiful pastime, and I really want to share this with all of you because it might take a little longer, but then I think it's worth when we discuss that how many wonderful things come out when we speak about a certain pastime. So we all know that after this battlefield of Kurukshetra, you know, there there was this um, great war, a battle. All this happened, everybody was killed, and only the Pandavas remained. And after this whole battle of Kurukshetra, Yudhishthira was advised to perform Rajasuya Yagna, and as a part of Rajasuya Yagna, it also is a ritual that they send across a horse for declaring that Yudhishthira is going to be the emperor of the whole world. And if anybody captures this horse, then he has to fight against the army of Yudhishthira. And if everybody is okay, and then it's fine. They used to actually have this board on this horse stating that Yudhishthira is going to be the emperor, and if anybody captures this horse, he has to fight. If not, you accept this horse, then you accept the supremacy of Yudhishthira. So this is the process, and Arjuna was following this horse because Arjuna was along with the army, and anybody who captures this horse, he has to fight with Arjuna. So now this is the process. War is gone, the horse is released, and it goes to different places, and it at one point of time it reaches a place. This horse reaches a place called Mahishmati, and there was a king called Pravira. So this Pravira captures this horse on the request of his wife. Wife says, Pravira, I want this horse. This is a very beautiful horse. You get this horse for me. And listening to his wife, he goes and captures. And then when he captures the horse, there is a repercussion to that. So along with Arjuna, there was Rishiketu. Rishiketu is actually the son of Karna. Karna is dead and gone, but his son Rishiketu has now joined the army of Arjuna. Okay, now they're all anyway a family members after all. So he's the son of Karna, Rishiketu, and he fights with Pravira. And Pravira and both Rishiketu both fight very, very vigorously, and then Pravira, he gets defeated here. And then, no, not Pravira gets defeated, but Rishiketu gets defeated by Pravira. Pravira is very powerful king. And then when Rishiketu is defeated, at that point of time, Arjuna had to step into the field. And then they are fighting. Now Pravira and Arjuna is both of them are fighting, and arrows are being shot. And then Arjuna, when he shot arrows, very powerful arrows towards Pravira, at that moment, suddenly from nowhere, there is a horse that jumps into, and then on top of that, there is a person, and that is the father of Pravira. And he is Neeladhwaja. Neeladhwaja is the father of Pravira. He comes into the picture and he says, now, oh, Arjuna, you fight with me. And Arjuna shoots arrows. At one point of time, Neeladhwaja, he falls weak. He understands that, oh, I cannot fight Arjuna because Arjuna is what match? He's a Maharati. He can fight so many people. And Neeladhwaja was becoming weak. And Neeladhwaja, at this point of time, he invokes a very, very special weapon. And when he invokes that special weapon, it all of a sudden, from the city of Mahishmati, it comes and lands onto his arrow. And that is a very powerful Agniastra. And then practically the whole army of Arjuna, including the horses and the elephants, everybody's on fire now. And when this is happening, the scene is all disturbed. Now there was a minister, there was another fighter, warrior on the side of Arjuna. His name was Anushalva. Anushalva goes to Arjuna and he says, Arjuna, what is this? Such a powerful weapon. All over we see only fire and our army is getting burned. And then at that time, Arjuna, when inquired by Anushalva, Anushalva wants to know what is this. Then Arjuna explains that actually it is Agni Astra, and he gives the background of this Agni Astra. So Arjuna starts speaking. Arjuna says, oh Anushalva, actually Neeladhwaja, he has a wife called Jwala. Neeladhwaja has Jwala, and Jwala and Neeladhwaja, they both have a daughter, Swaha. So Swaha and Pravira both are brother and sisters, and they are the son and daughters of Neeladhwaja and Jwala, right? So now when Swaha came to a marriageable age, they were actually looking for a proper groom for her, and they were showing her different photos, like we have this in marriage matrimony these days. You go through the photos and you select. So they were showing the photos of many great kings to Swaha, and she was rejecting. No, I don't like any of these. And then Neeladhwaja, the father, thought that okay, probably all these humans, these mortal beings, are not match for my daughter Swaha. I will get the pictures of the devatas, and he started showing the pictures of the devatas, and he showed it all to Swaha. And Swaha was looking one by one, one by one. But when she saw the picture of Agni, she smiled. So that was an indication to Neela Raja that, yeah, she likes Agni. And then it was decided that, you know, she has to get married to Agni. Now, what happens when this decision is taken? At that moment, there is an old man, a Brahmana, who enters the court of Niladhuja and he says that, oh, king, I have a request and you have to bestow that upon me. King says, I'm very happy today, you ask whatever you want. And this old man says, I want to marry your daughter Swaha. Now this is a big confusion. Dharma Sankata. Now Neeladhwaja is thinking, oh, I have to get her married to. It is decided that she has to get married to Agni, and now this old man comes into picture and asking the hand of my daughter, and I can't say no. What do I do now? And then you know uh, he says very humbly. Neeladhwaja says to the Brahmana, my dear Brahmana, actually it is already decided that she has to get married to Agni. This old man says, I am Agni. He says that I am only Agni. I have come here to ask. And Neeladhara says, how? I can't believe, you are, I saw your picture and my daughter saw your picture. You are not Agni, you are an old man. So he says, I am only Agni. When he opened his mouth and all fire started coming out. Then when all this was happening, the sister of Jwala, the sister of Jwala, she says, I want to test. So that sister of Jwala means the Mausi, basically. The Mausi, she says, Mausi of Swaha says that I will test him. She takes this old man to a secluded place, and then Agni doesn't like, oh, you want to test me. And moment Agni thinks of that, immediately there is a fire that catches to her dress, and she starts running. This lady, she starts going left and right, and then she says, no, 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 she's only Agni. You please give her hand to Agni. He's Agni. Then Swaha got married to Agni, and now Neeladhwaja says, I will get you both married. I'll give my daughter's hand to you, Agni, provided on one condition. What is that condition? That you reside in my place. You reside in my city. And whenever I invoke, you should come. And Agni agreed. And he started staying in the state of Maheshmati, in the city of Maheshmati. And that is how it was going on. Now, when he actually invoked, that is how Agni came into picture. When he invoked Agni, Agni came from Maheshmati, and he was on the arrow of uh, Niladhwaja. So this is the background that Arjuna gave to Anushalva. Right now, it's very interesting story. Actually, there can be a movie made out of this. It's a very action-packed thing, very wonderful thing. Now, Niladhwaja and with Agni is now fighting with Arjuna. Now Arjuna thought, okay, I cannot fight this Agni Astra like this. Let me invoke my Astra, and that is Narayan Astra. Now Arjuna releases, he invokes Narayan Astra. And moment Narayan Astra is invoked, everyone, all of them, they put down their weapons because they know they had a previous experience in Mahabharata that if you try to fight Narayan Astra, you are gone. Narayan Astra, the only way is you surrender to Narayan Astra. There is no other way because it is Narayana himself. And then everybody puts their weapons aside, and at that time, Agni also says to Niladhuja, see, I understand the situation, but I cannot find Narayana Astra because it's very powerful. It is none other than Narayana himself. I cannot fight with Narayana because Agni is a great devotee of Lord. How can he fight? So he says to Niladhuja, it is better that you give up this horse, you just give this horse back to Arjuna and don't fight. And then actually Niladhwaja understands the situation and he gives up. He agrees, okay. But then when he gives up, Pravira's wife, who had actually asked for this, she became very angry because it all happened on her request. She became very, very angry. And she again said, no, you should fight. And then Niladhwaja fights, but Niladhwaja, although father-in-law, but he could not really fight him. he said, I cannot really fight. And then, in fact, Niladvija joins the army of Arjuna. Now, this Jwala became even more angry. Jwala becomes even more angry. She says that, okay, you are my husband. She says to Niladvija, I asked actually, but you are giving away this horse and now you join the army also. She became so angry that she goes to her brother. Jwala is now going to her brother. And this brother is he's a king of dacoits. He's not an ordinary person. She became so angry, and she goes to a brother whose name is Ulumukha. Ulumukha is dacoits. He's the king of dacoits there. And Ulumukha says he goes and fights with Arjuna. Even he is destroyed. He is defeated. Now Jwala becomes even more angry. I cannot be protected. My wish is not fulfilled of having the horse my by my husband nor my brother, but I want to take revenge. This fantasy of revenge is very dangerous. Some people have this deep kind of feeling of taking revenge. It's very dangerous, and she gets this so much into her consciousness that I want to take revenge against Arjuna. She is so vengeful now that she actually wants to take revenge on Arjuna, and she goes all the way to Ganga. She goes to the river Ganga, and then in the middle of the Ganga, she goes on a boat, and then in the middle of the Ganga, she splashes water with her left foot. It's very disrespectful. You go to any river, you have to first pray to the river and then enter with the right foot. But here she's entering with the left foot and splashing water with the left foot, which is very disrespectful. Even when Hanuman actually entered Lanka, he didn't go with the right foot inside. He actually steps inside with the left foot. It's very inauspicious. So here she is disrespecting Ganga, and on the boat in the middle of Ganga, she starts abusing Ganga left and right. Very, very wrong words, very, very abusive words, very insulting words. She starts insulting Ganga. And people are all thinking, why is this lady talking like this? You know, all so much of hate within her. And Ganga listening to all this, she says, who is this person who is abusing me and so much and taking all nonsense names? She's calling me all nonsense names. Ganga appears before her. She appears and says, what's your problem? Then Jwala, she says, what kind of a woman you are? You are so happily residing here. When you gave birth to 7 children, and all of them you left them in your river, in the waters, and you had only one son, Bhishma, and that Bhishma, only one son of yours, is killed by that Arjuna, and you are happily residing here. He was killed, your son was killed by Arjuna, and you're so happy. What kind of woman you are? See how women can instigate. So, this is the problem. She instigated Ganga so much that Ganga became so angry on Arjuna, and then she curses Arjuna that 6 months from now, 6 months from now, Arjuna will be killed by his own son. Can you imagine? And now this Jwala is so happy because her mission is fulfilled. Oh, my job is done now. Arjuna is cursed, and if Ganga is cursing, then it will come true. After this thing, she came out of the river. Jwala, she committed suicide by entering into fire. And after committing suicide into the fire, by jumping into the fire, she, Jwala, in her next birth, she would actually become a fire weapon. She would reside on the arrow of Babruvana. Can you imagine what kind of revenge that she wants to take? She wants to be that arrow which will be shot by the son of Arjuna. It is just like this case of Amba. Amba also, life after life, she wants to take revenge against Bhishma. So this is the situation now. Now, very nicely, Arjuna is moving from one place to another place with this horse. Neeladhwaja also has joined, and Jwala has entered into his next life. So this is all going on. Now Arjuna is moving towards the northern region. I'm telling you all this because how Krishna protects his devotees, how this beautiful friendship of Arjuna and Krishna is exemplified with this pastime even after the Mahabharata war. Arjuna was protected so many times by Krishna. By Jayadratha. Jayadratha was hiding, and Arjuna was protected at that time. Many instances are there where Krishna has personally come and protected, but I'm specifically saying here because I just want to uh, discuss this beautiful friendship between Arjuna and Krishna. So now Arjuna is moving towards the northern region, which is close to the Manipur and Assam area, and then you all know that how Arjuna actually got married to Ulupi because he was traveling into the forest because he actually entered the chambers of Yudhishthira and Draupadi when he is not supposed to. When that is how he was started moving towards the forest. And during this time, he got married to Ulupi. She's a Naga actually, and she took Ulupi was so mesmerized by the beauty of Arjuna. She fell flat for and she fell in love with Arjuna, and she took him to the Nagaloka, and they both got married in a Naga style. The marriage in the Naga style, and Ulupi was one of the wife of Arjuna, and then he moves further ahead to Manipur, and there was this very nice king who was very friendly with Arjuna. His name was Chitravahana. Chitravahana was the king of Manipur, and they both became very friends. And then Chitravahana actually got married. His daughter Chitraganda to Arjuna. So Chitraganda is the daughter of Chitravahana, and she also got married to uh, Arjuna. But Chitravahana, I said, see, there is a curse in our family, in our dynasty, and the curse is such that if we try to beget a son, the son will die, and there will be no king to rule. So you get married to my daughter Chitraganda, and your son will further rule. So on this condition, you can marry my daughter Chitraganda. So now Arjuna has married Chitraganda, and their son is Babruvahana, and Babruvahana is going to stay in Manipur to rule further. So that was the condition done. Okay, and then Arjuna, after marrying Chitraganda and having a child, Babruvana, at a very young age, Arjuna left because he had other missions to take care of. Right. So this is what had happened. Now, when Arjuna he entered Manipur, when he entered the Manipur, the region of Manipur, there comes a young, wonderful, handsome looking boy, and then he comes and surrenders to Arjuna. And he says, and he starts glorifying Arjuna. And Arjuna is thinking, who are you? Who is this person? And then he introduces himself. He says, I'm your son, Babruvahana. And Arjuna is, oh, you are my son? And he says, Babruvahana says, actually, I mistakenly actually captured this horse. I thought that this is somebody else's horse, but when I saw the board with the name of Yudhishthira written on it and your name written on it, I was so excited. And I now understood my mistake, and I've come here back to return this horse, and I'm surrendering to you, oh my father. And you can imagine the situation of Babruvana. He's seeing his father after decades. He has never seen his father. He had only heard about his father Arjuna, such a great warrior. And here now he is so excited, he's so jubilant to see his father. That is his mood. And he surrendered to his father, Arjuna. But Arjuna, when he sees his son, he kicks him very hard on his head. And Babruvana goes, he falls apart. He is very badly kicked by his son. And Arjuna is so angry. He says, a warrior possessed with fear cannot be my son. You cannot be my son because you saw the name of Yudhishthira and my name on the horse, and you, seeing that name, you became fearful. First of all, you captured the horse, and then you are now fearful to fight. And because of that fear, you have come and surrendered to me. You cannot be my son. And Arjuna doesn't stop here. He is insulting Babruvana. He kicks him, and then further he's saying, "You are not my son. Probably you have taken birth from a Vaishya. You are a eunuch, and all this way." And he says that he actually starts calling ill names to Chitraganda also. Arjuna is talking ill about Chitraganda. And now Babruana is cannot tolerate this. He says, "You talk against me, I will accept it. But you talk against my mother, who is so chaste, I cannot take it anymore." Arjuna is scolding Chitraganda also. And now Babruana is sufficiently instigated by Arjuna. Now there is a duel, a fight between both of them. Arjuna and Babruana, son and father, both of them are fighting with each other. And this fight was so ferocious. I mean, it was so brilliant. Never in the history, not even the Mahabharata war was so powerful. It was such a powerful fight between both of them, the son and father. Arjuna is fighting Babruana, all of them. Arjuna had told Babruana that the blood that is running in your veins is not my blood. Babruana said, "Now I will show you whose blood is running within my veins." It's just like powerful fight between both of them, fierce battle between both of them. And arrows are being shot here, left and right. Both of them are fighting arrows. And then when Arjuna shot an arrow, Babruana shot an arrow which dissected the arrow of Arjuna. Arjuna released another arrow, it became into two, and Babruana shot an arrow which became two and then split that two arrows into four. So that way it was going back and forth, back and forth. All these people, the army, they are just thinking, what is this? Arjuna is not able to fight this little boy. At one point of time, Arjuna shot one arrow which hit Babruana so much that it took him to a distance and he fell apart. And then, at that point of time, he became so angry. Babruana became so angry. He took his bow and arrow, started fighting with Rishiketu. Rishiketu, who is the son of Karna. And he actually fought so vigorously, he chopped off Rishiketu's head. Now, Rishiketu is dead. And then Babruana takes his bow and he stabs the body of Rishiketu and tells Arjuna, "Now you see, this is Kshatriya. You know that I am a Kshatriya and this is how I am so powerful." He's telling his father. Arjuna comes towards Rishiketu and he's crying, "Oh my God. Karna is gone, now his son is also gone." He's so morose. Arjuna is so morose. And now Arjuna and Babruana, again they started fighting with each other. And this time Babruana is not even fearful. He's not even moving. He is just standing in one place and shooting arrows so conveniently at Arjuna. Arjuna is not able to cope up with Babruana's fight with arrows. Can you imagine? Everyone is astonished to see this. Babruana is saying, "You may be very talented because of being taught by a great guru like Drona. You may be very powerful because you have taken training and you have fought great heroes and you have killed many great Maharathis in the Mahabharata, but you cannot fight with me." He's saying, "You cannot fight with me today is because Krishna is not on your side." Babruana is saying it to Krishna, to Arjuna. Babruana is saying, "Do you think that Krishna is always with you on your side all the time?" "No, my father, he's not on your side all the time. Today he is not on your side. You know why? Because you have insulted a woman. And you have insulted a woman who is so chaste, who is your wife and is my mother. You have insulted Chitraganda. Krishna is not on your side. Krishna cannot be on your side because he cannot be on the side of people who insult chaste ladies. And he has already shown that example when Draupadi was being insulted, right?" So Babruana is saying these words. He's saying these words to Arjuna. And then actually Arjuna realizes his mistakes. He said, "Oh, I have done a mistake. That actually I shouldn't have said wrong things about Chitraganda. I have done a great mistake." And then Arjuna is about to chant Krishna's name. About to chant Krishna's name. He knows now I cannot fight because I have done adharma. And then Babruhana realizes, "Oh, my father is about to take Krishna's name. And if Krishna's name he takes, then it's a problem because then the situation will change. I want to kill him right away." He takes an arrow, shoots an arrow at Arjuna, and it hits Arjuna's neck. And then when it hits the head of the neck of Arjuna, Arjuna chants Krishna, and the head is chopped off. See that the whole body of Arjuna falls apart. It falls down. The head is chopped. He falls down, and then everyone is silent. Babruana, he has lost his senses. Ulupi, Chitraganda, everyone, they come running to the spot. And Babruana realizes his mistake. What did I do? He starts crying. I killed my own father. And then Ulupi, Chitraganda, they're all crying. Chitraganda says, what did you do? He's your father. You're supposed to be respectful. You met him after such a long time. And now you killed your own father? What kind of a son you are? Just like Parashurama chopped off the head of his mother, I order you, you chop off my head because I want to die with my husband. Chitraganda is saying this to Babruan. You can imagine his situation. He's killed his father. Now mother is saying to chop off his head. He's gone. He's morally defeated actually. He's in that situation. He realizes his anger. Out of his anger, he actually chopped off his father's head. He's in such a terrible situation. And when all this thing is going on, the scene is created. Babruan has understood his situation, and that time Ulupi steps into. He says, "I think we can reverse this situation." Arjuna is dead. Ulupi comes and she gives hope. She says that Ulupi comes and tells that actually in the Nagaloka they have a special jewel, and it is with Sheshanaga. If somehow or the other we can get that jewel, we can revive Arjuna back to life. We can revive back to life. And then Ulupi, she says to one of the Naga friend, he's one close associate of Ulupi. Ulupi says his name is Pundrika. She tells Pundrika, can you please go and request this this jewel. Babruana says, what request? I will defeat all the Nagas, kill all of them, and bring the jewel for my father. Ulupi says, please calm down. Not every problem can be solved by anger. You please calm down now. So, all right. Then Pundrik is sent to the Nagaloka, and he goes to the Nagaloka and tells the situation to Sheshanaga. Sheshanaga is, oh, Arjuna is killed. The friend of Krishna. See, now the point is coming. The friend of Krishna is killed. Oh, I think this jewel has to be given. So Sheshanaga, who is also a great devotee, he says that yes, this jewel has to be given. But then Sheshanaga understands that this jewel doesn't belong to me alone. It belongs to all the Nagas. I need to consult all of them. Then he calls for a meeting, immediate meeting, and then they all gather for a board meeting. And then he says that this is a situation that the friend of Krishna, Arjuna, is dead. We need to help him. And then among the Nagas, when this discussion is happening, there was one Naga. His name was Dhritarashtra. Somehow his name was also Dhritarashtra. And he says that no, we cannot give. He opposes this idea because he says this: if this jewel goes to the humans, then these humans will take all the serpents, all the Nagas on a ride because they are already insulting us. They already torture us so much. The moment they see us, they kill us. Now, if they get this jewel, they'll have no fear of the Nagas. They'll take the 100 snakes and they'll start killing, and they'll start capturing and keep us in a basket, and they'll make fun out of us. So we should not give this. And the moment he says all this, the other Nagas, they get instigated. They also say, no, we cannot give this to humans because humans are very, very notorious. The moment they get this, they will start using this Nagas. So they were all against it. Now Sheshanaga says, see, this is the situation. Pundrika, you please convey this message to Ulupi because we cannot give this. And then he goes and with the bad news, he goes there and tells Ulupi. And then now Ulupi says, I think now you can go and fight. Babruana, now it's time to fight. Then Babruana, with his big army, he goes to fight. He goes with such a huge army. Sheshanaga tells now to Dhritarashtra, see, you actually started. Now they have come here to fight. You become the commander-in-chief. So Dhritarashtra was made the commander-in-chief because it's all because of you. You go and fight, you become the commander. And they all went, all different types of snakes. They're all going and they are spitting poison. They're killing. Dhritarashtra alone, this snake, Naga Dhritarashtra alone killed 21,000 soldiers of Babruwana. And Babruwana is now thinking, oh, how do I fight this snake? Some snakes are flying, some snakes are spitting fire, some snakes are spitting poison. All over the place they are. Oh no, they are flying all over the place. Then, Babruwana releases some very special astras, the astras of peacocks. When he releases the astras of peacock, immediately all the snakes, so many snakes, they started running here and there. He releases the another astra of ants. Ants, they all ants started, they attacking the snakes, and he releases another astra of mongoose. All the snakes are fearful, running here and there for their life, and then Dhritarashtra also covered with ants and mongoose are running behind him. Even he is like, he goes and takes shelter of Sheshanaga. What do I do? Then Sheshanaga says, see, this is the time. You better give this jewel to Babruwana. And that is how, when so badly defeated by Babruwana, this snake, this jewel was given by Sheshanaga to Babruwana. He says, see, you please take this and revive your father. But Dhritarashtra, again, because he's defeated, he tells his two sons. Two sons' name is Durbuddhi and Dushprabhava. Just like their names, they were exactly having the same characters only. Durbuddhi and Dushprabhava, the sons of Dhritarashtra. He tells his two sons, you please ensure that this jewel does not reach Arjuna. Ensure that, Arjuna is not revived. They also follow Babruwana along. When Babruwana goes to Manipur, along with the jewel, everyone is so excited. Oh yes, he got the jewel, he got the jewel back. Right? And when everybody is so excited, that time these two sons of Dhritarashtra, Drubuddhi and Dushprabhava, they steal the head of, the chopped head of Arjuna, and they run away from that place. And everybody is excited and they come there and they want to use this jewel, and the head is missing now. Everybody is looking here and they're searching for the head, and head is missing, gone. At that very moment, Krishna arrives at the spot. Krishna, along with Bhima, along with Pradyumna, the son of Krishna, and along with Kunti, they all come, and they come to that point of Manipur where the scene was taking place. And they start crying. They say, oh, Arjuna is dead. Your dear friend is dead. Krishna, can you imagine Krishna ever losing his friend? You become a Krishna and you're lost? No, that can never happen. Now, Krishna is praying now. You know what he prays? Krishna. Can you imagine? Krishna is God and Krishna is praying. He says, if I have performed dharma and if I am pure in my activities and all the actions, if my actions are pure in this lifetime, let the head of Arjuna come to my hand, and whoever has stolen the head of Arjuna, their heads blast. Moment Krishna prayed this way, there was a blast somewhere in the forest. Dam, there was a blast. And then Arjuna's head comes flying all the way, comes and lands into the hand of Krishna. They keep the head connected to the body of Arjuna. They keep the jewel on the body of Arjuna. And then Arjuna comes back to life. And when Arjuna comes back to life, he wakes up saying, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You remember when he actually, Babruwana shot the arrow and the neck was chopped? Just before the head was chopped, Arjuna took the name of Krishna. And when it was reconnected, he again was just chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. That is how deep this friendship is there between Arjuna and Krishna. Krishna will never, never let his friends die. He is so wonderful. Krishna is such an amazing friend. And that friendship is here recognized even before this incident happened. Arjuna is recognizing that friendship. He's saying, oh Krishna, oh Yadava, oh Saketi, I've called you all these names. Krishna, you are such a great friend. I have insulted you. I have taken all wrong names, So Arjuna is totally, he's taken aback. What I have done, a great mistake, calling such a Parabrahman as my friend. So this is friendship between Arjuna and Krishna. Such an amazing thing. Krishna does everything so amazing, isn't it? Krishna is offering so prayers, nice prayers. And Krishna, when he arrives, and Krishna, when Arjuna is back to life, you know, he sees Babruhana, who is so morose. He's feeling guilty that, oh, I killed my father, and all this situation had to happen. All these things happened because of me chopping off my father's head. And Krishna goes and consoles Babruhana, says, actually, you did this because out of anger. I understand that. I understand the situation. You did it because it was your choice. It was in your hand. Killing your father was in your hand. That is there. But you know why Arjuna head got chopped off? Arjuna had to undergo of being his head chopped off because he insulted a chaste lady like Chitraganda. So even if it is great person, a great warrior like Arjuna, if he insults a chaste woman, even he has to die. That is the instruction that Krishna is giving to all of us. So if we just analyze this whole story, this pastime, there are so many learnings. We should not become angry like Babruwahana. We should not be vengeful like Jwala. We should not be so disrespectful like Arjuna in certain situation, right? At the same time, we should also great learning from Arjuna is, even at the point of death, he was able to take Krishna's name. That's an instruction for all of us also. So many learnings we can get through this pastime. And by the way, that Arjuna, when Babruwana shot that arrow to chop off the head of Arjuna, Jwala was sitting on that arrow because she wants to take revenge, right? So she comes and sits on that arrow. I forgot that point. I just wanted to mention that Jwala was on that arrow which chopped off the head of Arjuna. So the point here is this is a very deep friendship between both of them. I'm saying this because here he's addressing Krishna as Ho Saka, Ho Yadava, Ho Madhava. Please forgive me for all these things I have done. I have done a great mistake. Please forgive me. Right? So I have eaten with you. I have taken rest with you. I have gone so many excursions and all those things. I fought with you, but I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Oh, infallible one, oh Krishna. So being friend with Krishna is not an ordinary thing, and Arjuna is such a great friend, and they are eternal friends, by the way. They're eternal friends. Nara Narayana, both Nara and Narayana. Krishna is Narayana, his Arjuna is Nara. So Nara Narayan Rishi we talk about, right? So they both are Nara and Narayan Rishi. They're always together. Krishna and Arjuna are eternal friends. And we all have an eternal relationship with Krishna, which we have forgotten. We don't know what it is right now because of the darkness that has entered our heart. So when we chant the holy names, it will be revealed to us. Our eternal relationship, our constitutional relationship with Arjuna, with Krishna will be revealed. But that is now closed because of ignorance. So we should chant the holy names. We should become friends with Krishna. We should learn all these things from Arjuna, that how we should respect Krishna and we should understand Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita. So this is very, very special. This is very wonderful verse that we have discussed today. It is a very amazing verse. I really like this verse so much because here it's a very personal way to connect with Krishna. Right? Oh Krishna, oh Yadava, oh Saketi. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We will continue from where we have left in the next session. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So, isn't it so amazing that Arjuna is recognizing Krishna's great position, and he's also remembering his friendship here in the midst of seeing that universal form. So
One
it's very
question.
hard to remember seeing such a fierce form. It's very, very hard to remember. But Arjuna is remembering his friendship because it's a very deep connect. It's not an ordinary friendship that they have. It's a very deep friendship that they have. So
Just one
Krishna never
question,
minds.
please.
Sorry, what's the
One question.
yeah?
After this Vishwarupa Darshan, when Krishna comes back to normal, um, Arjuna does continue to call him friends after that, or does he continue with the respect of Guru, and how does it work?
Yeah. See, Arjuna heard this on the first day of battle, and he heard all this knowledge on the first day of battle. He saw the Vishwarupa on the very first day of the battle. But later, uh, like I told you, it's an eternal friendship, and that eternal friendship is revived again back because this Vishwarupa that he saw was a very temporary phase. It was just for a few moments that actually Arjuna saw this Vishwarupa. He understands now that Krishna is the supreme Parabrahman. But then at the same time, he knows that he has an eternal connection with Krishna as a friend. And at any point of time, they cannot be no friends. They cannot be no friendship between them. They continue to be friends. Actually, even after this Vishwarupa Darshana, Arjuna continued to relate with Krishna in the same friendly way like he did before. Because there are many instances in the Mahabharata when the war was going on between both of them. One day when Krishna, okay, I need to tell this again. So if you know Duryodhana was like always torturing Bhishma, saying that you're not killing the Pandavas, you're not killing the Pandavas. Bhishma got sick and tired with this Duryodhana. He said, tomorrow I'm going to kill all the 5 Pandavas. He took 5 arrows and he said, with these 5 arrows, I'm going to kill all these people. All the 5 Pandavas will be killed tomorrow. Duryodhana was very happy. He said, my dear great grandfather, please give those arrows to me. I'll keep it in my tent. He took those arrows and kept it in his tent. And then now, Arjuna and Krishna, everybody Pandavas, they're all sleeping in the night. And then Krishna is like back and forth. He's walking in full tension. And then Arjuna is asking, oh, my dear Krishna, what happened to you? Why are you so tensed? He says, you know what is going to happen tomorrow? Arjuna says, why should I be even worried about what's going to happen tomorrow? And why should I be worried? Because when you are taking so much of tension, why should I take tension? Because anyway, you're taking tension for me. So I don't have to take tension. You see, that is the way he is relating with Krishna. So Krishna says, oh, Arjuna, see, tomorrow is going to be a very big problem for you, all of you Pandavas. You wake up now, you don't sleep like this, immediately go to Duryodhana's tent and then go and ask him those 5 arrows. And he goes to Duryodhana's tent and he's asking him 5 arrows. Like Duryodhana is like, what? How did you come to know? Where in the world somebody told you like this? Only I knew that 5 arrows are there with me. But now you give me these 5 arrows. Why should he give? Because Duryodhana had told Arjuna that when Arjuna had actually protected Duryodhana from being killed by the Gandharva, Chitraratha, Duryodhana at that time had told, oh Arjuna, because you saved my life today, you ask any time. Once in lifetime, you ask anything, I'll give you. So this is the time, that Arjuna is going and asking, give me those 5 arrows, and Duryodhana had to give the 5 arrows. So the point is how Krishna is all the time protecting his devotees. You see, so this is friendship. This is friendship.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good
So
one. Okay. Yeah.
good. So all right. So we will continue from where we have left. So we have discussed enough today. You please digest and contemplate on whatever we have discussed. We'll see you again next Sunday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.